I have been on Zepbound for another set of 4 weeks. Do I have to go up in dose? Hmm. I'll answer that question for you. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. I am so glad you're here. I am Cheryl Lynn, and I am on a journey to wellness through a clinical trial that we're doing with the Cleveland Clinic Bariatric Institute. So welcome if you're new here. I'm glad you stopped in. I was just going to talk about going up in dose. I know oftentimes we hear about all the different doses of Zepbound and whether or not we have to go up in dose. So I just completed another round of medication. So this is my third box. I'm going on to my fourth box of 4 pens. So they come in a box like this, and there's 4 pens inside, and I've used all 4 every time. So I'm going on to my 4th box. And the question always is, do you go up in dose? So the way Zepbound works, for those of you that aren't familiar, Mounjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide, those are all the names for this weight loss medication. But it goes up in increments of 2.5. And so it goes 2.5 to 5, then 7.5, then 10, then 12.5 milligrams, and ends at 15 milligrams, which is the highest dose you can get for Zepbound. For those of you that don't know what Zepbound or tirzepatide or Mounjaro is, it is a dual receptor agonist. It's a GLP-1 and a GIP. It can be used for long-term weight loss. It has been approved by the FDA for adults with obesity greater than 30, with a BMI of greater than 30, or 27 if you have other weight-related conditions such as hypertension, high cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes, anything related to weight. So it can be utilized for that as well with a BMI of 27 or greater. It is a newer medication out on the market. I know often a lot of us heard of like Ozempic or Wegovy first. Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, that's all one drug. So that one isn't the dual receptor agonist. It is just a GLP-1. So tirzepatide has the GLP-1 and the GIP. So with these, maintenance doses are typically around like 10 to 15 milligrams. However, with weight loss, it can be 5, 10, 7.5. It can be any of those doses, whatever is working for you. Your healthcare provider would work with you on that. Some things you want to talk about with your provider, and this will help them know if you're ready to go up in dose. Before I go into all of that, I am not a healthcare provider. I am just a plain Jane person on a health journey, and I'm sharing my experiences with all of you. So don't take anything I say. Always seek your healthcare provider for any questions or concerns relating to your dosing, to this medication in general, or any healthcare needs. So with that, when you're considering increasing your dose, so say you finished your box, your round of 4 injections, or if you're taking the vial and you've completed the vial, you're going to want to talk to your provider. But some things you're going to want to talk about is, where is your weight at? Monitoring your weight. Are you experiencing plateaus or really slow weight loss? Has it tapered off? Has it always been tapered off and not moving fast? Each individual on this journey is different. Some can do great on lower doses. Some don't really see any results until they've raised up the dose. So that's all something you have to keep in contact with your provider about. You also want to talk to them about how you're tolerating the medication. Is it too strong? Do you have too many side effects? Is the appetite suppression too much that you can't eat or drink at all? So these are all things you have to take into consideration and make sure you're talking with your provider. Another thing is that they will consider is your age, your weight, and your overall health. Those are all things to take into consideration. So if you have a lower BMI, you're tolerating it well, the weight's kind of slowed down, they may not increase, or they may not increase very much, because as your weight gets lower, you're going to lose a little bit slower. So those are just some things to think about. You also want to monitor your progress and your side effects so that you can have good communication with your provider on how effective this injection's working. So you're going to always be in contact with your primary care or whichever provider is supplying this medication for you. You want to make sure you're monitoring your weight regularly and reporting that as well as those side effects. I also want to reiterate that every single person experiences this weight loss journey differently with this medication. I do also want to say that if you move up in your medication too quickly and your provider didn't tell you to go ahead and move up, you can really, really experience some not so good side effects. So that's why I always say make sure you're in, collaboration with your provider. I started out at the 2.5 milligram dose. This is the package that it came in. This is the auto injector that I received. I took all 4 of these doses. I then went on to the 5 milligram dose, and you'll see that here. I have the 5 milligram dose here. I took all 4 of the 5 milligram injections. So for the first 4 weeks, 2.5. Second 4 weeks, I did 5. And my side effects at 5 were not the best. I felt very, very weak. I felt very shaky. I felt very anxious. I was in the bathroom a lot of nausea, especially towards the end of that 5 milligram. That 4th injection, when I ate something greasy, I had pizza. When I ate pizza, I had eaten it previously on the 2.5 milligram, never really had an issue. Obviously, I didn't eat a lot. One tiny little square when I didn't have the issues. But when I had the pizza with the 5 milligram, I had 2 tiny squares of a sheet pizza. They were not big. I mean, they were really small. And so I thought I would be okay. And I got violently ill. So I spoke with my provider. After talking and trying and seeing, we went back down to the 2.5 milligram dose. So I got another box of the 2.5 milligrams, and I was taking these injections for another 4 weeks. So in total, I have been taking my Zepbound for 12 weeks. 12 total injections, actually 13, because we did try one 5 milligram dose again after the 5 milligram, and it was just too much for me at that time. So they put me back on the 2.5 milligram, and I've done fine. I've had 0 side effects and great weight loss. So with that, I was in conjunction with my healthcare provider, and it's time to go up in dose. Typically after 4 weeks, it's typically time to go up in dose. Spoke with my provider. I talked to them about my weight loss and how well I was doing. Talked to them about my very tolerable side effects, which are pretty much non-existent. And we decided that I did not have to go up in dose this round. So that means that I will be on the 2.5 milligram dose yet again. So that'll be my 3rd box of Zepbound 2.5 milligrams. So I am here to tell you that you don't have to follow the trend of going up every 4 weeks. And if you're really sick, don't put yourself through that. Talk to your provider. Be in contact with them. Advocate for yourself. If your provider is pushing you to increase dose and you don't feel it's something you can tolerate, really advocate for yourself. You know your body more than anyone else. So you don't have to go up in dose. And I think that's something I thought I had to do. I thought I had to go up every 4 weeks. Even though I knew that I didn't, I kind of felt like I had to. And it was funny because even when I went to pick up my injections, my provider was out. So they had another provider giving me my medication because I'm part of a clinical trial. It's part of the team. And when he went to hand me my medication, he says, okay, and you're upping your dose. And he looked at it and he looked surprised. He's like, 2.5 milligrams. And I said, yes. I remember I had the side effects. And he says, oh, yes. And then he said to me afterwards, and you're doing so well on this dose. And I said, yeah. And he was really amazed because obviously you have to weigh in when you do it. So I do want to say, like, some people are super responders, they call it. They do very well on the lower doses. I seem to be one of them. I lost 14 pounds the first round on 2.5 milligrams. And then when I went to the 5, it was around 7 pounds. So interestingly enough, and then when I went up to the 2.5 milligram dose, I lost 11 pounds. So it seems like 2.5 seems to be doing well for me. So until it's no longer doing well for me, I'm not going to go up in that dose. So if you have questions or concerns about the dose you're taking, or if you should go up in dose, talk to your provider. Make sure you're, like I said, you're documenting and advocating for yourself and telling them your side effects, how much weight you're losing, and really take all of that into consideration. Remember the tortoise and the hare. I do want to say that we all want our weight loss results quick. There is no quick fix. And something I heard a long time ago was it didn't come on overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. But we all really want it to come off quick. I can tell you this, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months goes by way quicker than you would think. And before you know it, those pounds add up. And I remind myself when I'm not losing like I want to, but although I'm doing very well, but sometimes you always want more. We're never happy, I feel like. But I always remind myself it was a loss and not a gain. And sometimes you might have temporary gains. Your body and hormones fluctuate, what you eat, how you're retaining water, all of those things have a play in it. So don't give up. And like I said, be in conjunction with your provider. So that's all I have to say about moving up in dose. If you have any questions or comments on it, please leave those in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to upload videos on my experience and what I'm going through. And if the doctors are, on my side and all of those types of things, which they really seem to be. And I'm really thankful for the great team they have at the Cleveland Clinic. I can't speak highly enough about them. So stick around. I'll see you on the next one.